What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another video today, and in this video we are doing the 29th installment of Retro Reviews. Today we're going to be reviewing my Aeroclassics 1:400 scale Eastern Airlines Airbus A300B2. Now you may notice that it says A300B4 on the box, but this is actually supposed to be a B2 variant which had less range than the B4. So I picked up this model at my first ever Airliners International convention in 2022, and in that same hall I got quite a lot of Eastern Airlines models. If I remember correctly, I got a DC-3, a 720B, 757, 727, DC-9, I may be forgetting a couple somewhere in there. But the point being, I did get quite a lot of Eastern aircraft for good deals, and I know these Eastern aircraft are quite sought after on the secondhand market, so the fact that I was able to get as many as I did then is pretty awesome. So really happy to have them all, and figured I'd take a look at one of them. And I do remember seeing two examples of this model. There was another one at the same convention that looked really dusty. I believe I have video of it, so I'll pop it up if I do, but otherwise you won't really see anything. But enough talk about that. Let's go ahead and take a look at the box itself. So let me move the model out of the way very slowly because I have it on the stand. I'm going to try and review the model on the stand, so let me know what you think. I'll try to get a different angle of the model, if you will. So let's go ahead and take a look at the box. We've got the Aeroclassics logo, Eastern Airlines Historical Series, and then we have the original Eastern logo, and then we have the Golden Falcon Service logo there. Then we have the more recent, I guess, for lack of a better term, Eastern logo, A300-B4, even though it's supposed to be a B2, based on my research. Then we have the adult collectible model, not suitable for children under 14 years warning, made in China. And then there's Eastern A300B4, again, the aircraft type not exactly accurate. See more of our products online at that domain, which is not available as far as I can tell. Left side is the same as the right, and then here is the back of the box. Keeping in touch, the Eastern Airlines Retirees Association. Visit us online at www.eara.org. And unfortunately, that domain is not active with the same people. It's now for the Evaluation and Action Research Associates, so that seems pretty interesting. Not sure if they discontinued the website or if they moved it to a different domain, so I'll have to look into that at some point in the future. So with that out of the way, let me go ahead and bring the model back into view. I need to make sure it slides on accurately, just like that. How about this for a beautiful model? One of my first A300s that I got from Aeroclassics. Actually, no, not my first. I got a couple before that, and the prior Christmas, I got two of them before I went to Airliners International for the first time. So go ahead and start off at the front, right up here, where we have our nose cone, a little black nose there, and then we have the deep blue, and then we have like this lighter blue up there. Also got a little fleet code there with 291. Then we have the cockpit windows, and there is an anti-glare shield there. Here's the nose gear and the nose gear door. Then we have the L1 door and a little sticker there just off to the next to the L1 door. And then we have the Air Shuttle Plus. So this aircraft, along with the second A300B2 that they had, these were all configured in an all-economy configuration, and they were mostly used on shuttle flights between LaGuardia and Boston. They were also approved to be used at Washington Reagan, but they were never used because I think there was some opposition with the pilots union or something like that, so they never used them into Reagan, but they did get clearance to operate them if need be. And then down over here we got a little like panel sticker right there. Then we have an L2 door right there, and then we have the Eastern titles right there. Also an American flag just behind that. Then there's an L3 door, and then there's that little hump again. So you can see that it's also on this mold as well. I took a look at the Phoenix A300, the house livery one, a few weeks ago, and this has the same detail right there, so I know it's not a prototype thing anymore. And then there is a registration, November 291 Alpha Echo, or Echo Alpha, sorry. And then we have the L4 door right there, and then there's one little window right there, and then we have the lovely Eastern Airlines tail. This is the modified hockey stick livery that they had a little bit later on in their existence, because it used to be an all-white livery, and then they changed it a little later on. Some planes got like a metal polish, and then others were painted with this gray color to try and mimic that metal, because obviously the A300 was not offered with a metal finish, if you will, because they used more composite materials on it. That's what American Airlines had when they first got the A300s, but then later Airbus built a couple with a more traditional like aluminum compound on it, and they were able to get that polished livery on the A300s a little later on. I'll flip it over to the other side. Try to do this nice and carefully, but there's a nice little front profile. You can see the lovely engines on there looking really good on this A300. And now on the other side, you can see we've got more of the same details over here. And again, you got the Air Shuttle Plus sticker, which has rubbed off a little bit, but not a huge issue. And then there's a few smaller stickers just ahead of that. And then you can see all the extra details there. There's a couple luggage doors. You can also see the wing seam a little bit. There you go. See that a little bit better. And also the other fun stuff there at the rear. It's also like a little like blue thing right there. I don't know. Or no, that must have just been a camera artifact or something. I don't know. All right, so let's go ahead and take this off the stand. We'll take a look at the underneath of the aircraft. You can see a couple molded details on there along with the stand hole. And again, thankfully no manufacturer logo. There's the top of the aircraft. You can see that molded detail better, which has a black paint on it. And then no overwing exits on this, so looking pretty good there. Basic stuff for the Aeroclassics stuff. And then I'll go ahead and put it back on the stand here. And that's all I have for the aircraft. Now let's take a look at the real-life aircraft's history, this A300B2-203. This aircraft first flew on May 10th of 1977, and it was delivered to Iran Air in March of 1978, and it was still wearing a French registration, Foxtrot-Oscar Delta Hotel Yankee. Before that, it was with Airbus Industry, and it wore the registration of Foxtrot-Whiskey Zulu Echo Sierra. Then it was returned to Airbus Industry in December of 1979 due to some political conflicts going on over there. At that time, it was registered as Foxtrot-Golf Bravo November India. Then it went to Eastern at the start of 1980, and it wore the registration of November 291 Echo Alpha, and operated with them for 7 years, mainly remaining within the Air Shuttle Plus stuff. Then it was transferred to Buffalo Airways in January 1988, wearing the same registration. And then later that year, Alitalia picked it up, and it wore the registration of India-Bravo Uniform Sierra Mike, and it lived the rest of her life with them until she was scrapped in 2007. So no longer with us, but still living on in model form. And funnily enough, this registration is now worn by an Erickson Aerotanker MD-87, now used for aerial fighter fighting. So very interesting coincidence that I found when I was doing my research. And a little more information on the Air Shuttle Plus stuff as well. So the Eastern Air Shuttle, that began in 1961, and they utilized various Eastern aircraft that they had in their fleet. So they had like Electras, Constellations, DC-9s, and 727s. They used a little bit of everything. And then the A300s came around a little later in the 80s when they had them. And as I said, there was two specifically designated A300s that were given an all-economy configuration. I think it was like 265 seats or so that they had, all-economy layout, so it must have looked pretty interesting in there. That operation ran for a number of years, and Eastern Air Shuttle, that was shut down in 1989, and it was rebranded to Trump Shuttle, and then that itself became U.S. Air Shuttle in 1992 when U.S. Air bought out part of that airline. Then it went to American Airlines Shuttle in 2015, and then it was shut down in 2021 due to the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. I believe the shuttle stuff still exists in the Northeast Corridor, but it's not explicitly branded anymore. They just now have it as part of the airline, if you will. It's not like a separate brand or anything like it used to be in the 2000s or so. Because I remember seeing a lot of photos with like Delta Shuttle and U.S. Airways Shuttle, United Shuttle, etc. That used to be a big thing, but not so much anymore. And that'll do it for this episode of Retro Reviews. With that being said, thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next video.